can find here current electricity. In that, the first topics or first four most important topics are electric current. The fourth most important definition is this. We have learned in our 10th standard only, but still people are having the confusion. What do you mean by electric current? Rate of flow of charge or or flow of electrons through a cross-sectional area of conductor in unit time is called electric current. See here, the electric current is defined as the charge flowing through any cross-section of the conductor in 1 second. The electric current is defined as the charge flowing through any section of the conductor in 1 second. That is I equal to Q by T means charge per unit time is called I. The same expression when we are talking about instantaneous current, we say it is as a instantaneous current. Then that time the same expression can be written as I equal to dq by dt. This is in a differential form we have written. Okay, for instantaneous current we will use I equal to dq by dt. That you can see if the rate of flow of charge varies with time. Okay, this formula we will use. Simply we say it is as a rate of flow of charge is called as current. Now you are seeing here different types of current. What are those different types of current? First of all, we are having direct current and alternating current. What is that direct current? What is that alternating current here? See here, different types of current in the sense. First, you are seeing with respect to the time, the magnitude of the current is constant. It's not changing. Okay. So this current we call as steady current, which does not vary with time. Now you are seeing the current gradually increasing with respect to time. That is V. And the current is increasing but randomly. That is curve C you are seeing. Now B and C are changing with respect to time. Means what is changing? The magnitude of current is changing with respect to time. Right?
Yes.
Next, at another point, the D, if you are seeing, in red color you are finding there is a current flowing and changing with respect to time periodically. We say it is as a periodically. Okay, the current which changes periodically, then we call it as alternating current. Means periodically what it is changing? Its direction changing. Magnitude looks is constant only, it's same only. But the current continuously is changing its direction after every equal intervals of time. So this type of current is called as alternating current. Alternating current. Is it fine?
Yes.
Next. Sir, what is current? What is in the conventional current? Okay. The most important part you should know that conventional current in the sense the current flowing from positive to negative, then such type of current is called as conventional current. We say why we use this word in this because electrons are moving. There was an assumption electrons are moving from positive to negative. But after J.J. Thomson found the charge of electron, electrons are not moving. Positive charges are moving towards the negatively plate. Okay, but negatively charged plate too towards the positive charge. there are electrons flow takes place.
Electrons also move from negative to positive.
Electrons will move always positive to electrons will move negative to positive.
Ah,
From the positive to negative, always current will move. When
yes.
this current will move means when electrons will move from negative to positive.
Okay.
If there is a flow of electrons, then we can say that there is a flow of current. Okay. If there is no flow of electrons, then we can say there is no current. That's why we say the word is conventional current. What is this? Conventional
Conventional current.
current. Conventional current is the current whose direction is along the direction of the motion of positive charge. Along the direction of the motion of positive charge under the action of electric field. What is that? Under the action of electric field.
Field.
Next, you are seeing negative to positive, electrons are moving. Therefore, the current direction is positive to negative. Here, we can say that if there is a flow of electrons, there is a current, that is conventional current. But if I wanted to talk with respect to the current definition, electrons are moving negative to positive in the sense that we call as electronic current or electron current we say. That is the electron current. Opposite to that, we call it as conventional current. That's why anybody will ask, we will say that the doubt. What is the doubt? They'll ask, what is the current direction? Current direction is positive to negative. What is that positive to negative? We say they'll precise it. What is the conventional current direction? Means the current flows from positive to negative, then that is called conventional current direction. In the same time, meanwhile, electrons will move from negative to positive. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next, drift velocity and current. These are the important terms should know or remember. What do you mean by drift velocity and current? The drift velocity, we can say that basically velocity in the sense distance or displacement of an object in unit time we say. Same way here, drift velocity is defined as the velocity with which the free electrons get drifted towards the positive terminal. The free electrons which get drifted towards the positive terminal under the action of the applied electric field. Under the action of the applied electric field is called as drift velocity. What it is called as drift velocity. Next, you can see here. This is a current carrying conductor, area of cross section A, and battery. You can connect A. And from positive to negative, there is a A2 this side. Through this area of cross section, electrons will enter, will move in this manner. Towards this side, it will come. So, this is the current direction. Positive to negative is the current direction. Negative to positive, electrons will move in the same time. So, the drift of electrons, you can see. The drift or the velocity with which the free electrons gets drifted from negative terminal to positive terminal or opposite to the current direction is called as drift velocity. Okay. Under the applied electric field in the sense, under the applied electric field it gets pushed by the difference. So it can be written as in terms of acceleration Vd equal to A into T. Here A is the acceleration of the electron due to application of the electric force. Okay, that can be written as minus of small e into capital E by M into T. Now that you can see here, if you are writing this velocity term in terms of current, usually current definition, what we will write? I equal to Q by T, right? Q has written as E, and means number of electrons are moving. So Q equal to NE I can write. But here one more important thing is available: area of cross section and velocity. How the area of cross section has come, how the velocity has come. In the denominator we having only time period. Okay, time, if it will be written in terms of velocity and area of cross section. So how can you write? I can write only one way. Time equal to velocity into displacement or length I can write. Okay, 1 by. So therefore I have written I equal to n into E2 into AVD I am writing. Okay. Current is directly proportional to the drift velocity here. How? Obviously, how much number of electrons gets drifted or moved towards the positive side, that much amount of current will come negative side, right? So current is always directly proportional to the drift velocity. And A is the acceleration, T is the relaxation time. This relaxation time means what? Relaxation time is nothing but it is a time between the average collision of an object, molecules, let us say electrons and positrons between them. Average collision, the time taken for the average collision between the molecules or between the electrons is called as relaxation time. E is the electric field, small e is electronic charge, m is the mass of electron, n is the number density of electron. Okay, since n is a number density in the sense, number density, how can we write? I'll tell you. L is the length of the conductor and A is the area of cross section. So number density we are writing here, number density of electrons in the sense, some number of electrons per unit length we are writing. So here you need to get length in the sense, down length up one more length is multiplied, therefore area you got here. Okay, that's why we call small n is a number density, number of electrons per unit length. Why we say per unit length? Because the length of the conductor we have taken to measure this. Current density. What is that current density? Current density at a point within a conductor is the current through a unit area of conductor, comma, around that point, provided the area is perpendicular to the direction of flow of current at that point. Means current density at a point, comma, within a conductor. Within a conductor in the sense, we are describing the current density within the conductor at any point is that current passing through unit area of the conductor around that point, provided the area is perpendicular to the direction of the flow of current. Means simply I can say that current density is defined as current passing through the conductor per unit area. Current passing to the conductor per unit area is called as current density. A equal to I by A. Whatever the I which is related from the previous equation with respect to drift velocity, NEVD into A. So that A and this denominator A get cancelled. You are having A equal to NEVD by A. Okay, so the A and A get cancelled. then J equal to NEVD. In vector form you wanted to express, then it can be written as I equal to J into A. I equal to J into A. That is a vector form of the current density. Next, Ohm's law. What is this Ohm's law? Why it has come into the picture? Ohm's law explains the flow of current and with respect to the applied potential difference across the two ends when temperature and other physical dimensions are constant. Means indirectly which explains the relation between the flow of current and the voltage. Okay, so simply I can say the current flowing to the conductor or a wire is directly proportional to potential difference across two ends of the conductor or wire when physical conditions like temperature, mechanical strain or means which changes the physical dimensions supposed to be constant or remain same. Now you are seeing the conductor. This current flowing to the conductor, no, I is directly proportional to V or V is directly proportional to I. Therefore, V equal to I into R or R into I, you can write. So, gradually, the way how much the voltage is increasing, same way the current also will increase. So, the slope we call it as resistance R. If you write the graph opposite to that, instead of I versus V, V versus I. Since it is I versus V, this is called conductance graph. If it is V versus I, then I call it as resistance graph. Okay. The resistance of a conductor is the opposition offered by the conductor to the flow of electric current through it. The resistance of conductor is the opposition offered by the conductor to the flow of current through it. This R equal to V by I. That can be written as resistance in terms of physical features of the conductor. Means you are relating with respect to in terms of drift velocity. So we know the relation I equal to NEAVD. So the magnitude of drift velocity if you are taking I equal to NEA E into modulus of E by M into T. Means this is the VD relation in terms of electric field we have written here. In terms of electric field we have written. That is from the drift velocity. E into capital E by M. T is a time relaxation. Now, you can see here I equal to NE square means E multiplied S square A T as it is. Okay, mark we are writing. Now, E into E become E square. Capital E we are expressing in terms of electric field and electric potential difference E equal to VD. Okay, so this V by L, if you make a subject, okay, that can be written as simply M into L by NE square A into P. Means what they did, since this is the current, they brought this current this side, the rest of the term took that side. Then V by equal to M 1 by NE square, not for. It's we are written here V by L in the sense M into L. NE square A into T, time relaxation. Therefore, resistance R equal to M by NE square T into L by A. Now, this whatever M NE square T is time relaxation, whatever is there in terms of area and length. So what I'm doing, this M by NE square tau or T, which is called time relaxation, is completely this function taken as constant. That is R equal to rho into L by A, where rho equal to M by Ne square P is resistivity or specific resistance. Now, resistance is directly proportional to length and inversely proportional to cross-sectional area of the conductor and depends on nature of material. Resistance is directly proportional to length and inversely proportional to cross-sectional area of the conductor and depends on the nature of the material. Means always resistance is depends on its length and its area of inversely proportional to area of cross section, and it also depends on the material which we are using. Means copper is different, and tungsten it is having different resistance. Okay, so same way with respect to temperature, its resistance will change. Coming to the resistivity, resistivity depends upon nature of material and not on the geometrical dimensions of the conductor. Not on the geometrical dimensions of the conductor. Relations between Vd, rho, L, E, J, and V. Means simply in terms of rho, we are trying to find the above relation. What is rho here? Okay, rho is a resistivity. From the above equation, this is a R. From there, R and rho also we form. Rho equal to R into A by L we know. But here you are finding rho equal to electric field per unit current density. So current density can be written as electric field for NE Vd. Vd if you make subject E by NE rho. Okay. Then this is
Sir,
also
current density, once again, can you tell the definition, sir?
current density is current passing through a wire through unit area.
Okay.
Vd equal to V into NE rho. Why NE rho? Because since rho equal to E by J, in a place of E by J, E equal to what I can write? J into rho. So I made Vd as a subject. So E by NE rho I have written. Okay, from this equation. Now Vd equal to V by E equal to V by L, right? V by NE into rho L. Now Vd equal to V by NE rho L in the sense along the length of the conductor it has taken. See, current density I by A, from their NEVD they have taken, again equal to V by L they have taken. When temperature increases, Vd decreases and rho increases. When length L increases, Vd decreases.
Rho is resistivity, sir.
Exactly. Okay. Vd decreases and resistivity increases. Obviously, drift of electrons will be increased, electric current will increase, right? So resistivity decreases there. Now, conductance and conductivity. We know the definition of the rho. What is that? Ohm meter. Coming to the conductance and conductivity. Conductance is a reciprocal of resistance. Conductivity is a reciprocal of resistivity. Right? Its SI unit is mho, MHO. That is equal to Siemens. Now, conductivity is the reciprocal of resistivity. Its SI unit is mho per meter. Mho per meter for conductivity, mho into meter for resistivity. That is ohm into meter, sorry. Now you can see mho is called Siemens in the sense conductivity is mho meter inverse or Siemens meter inverse we can write. That is a conductivity. Temperature depends on resistance. Obviously, one more important factor, resistance of the material increases with the temperature. If temperature of the any material increases means its resistance also will increase, right? Temperature coefficient of resistance. What is the temperature coefficient of resistance is here? Look at here. Alpha equal to RT minus R naught, R naught into delta T. Means final resistance minus initial resistance by initial resistance into change in the time with respect to. That can be written as alpha equal to R2 minus R1 by R1 into T2 minus R2 into T1. Means further if you are written in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, the LAN final resistance has given R2 and its initial resistance has given R1. Therefore, the difference R2 minus R1 by we can write R1 into T2 minus R2 into T1. This is temperature coefficient of resistance. Means alpha value different for different materials. Let us say alpha is different for different materials in the sense alpha is positive for the conductors, negative coefficient of temperature for semiconductors, and next 0 for the insulators. Okay, this is all about the resistance resistivity relation. The next topic, carbon resistors, which is not there for us, color coding. Identification of the color of resistors also is not there this time. But resistance in series and parallel combination is there. Resistance in series and parallel combination, how we can write. What is this resistance combination of series combination of resistor? See, resistance R1, R2, R3, one after the other, one after the other. We are connected, no? So that is R equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. Now, the equivalent resistance in series can be written as. In series, you can remember one important point for numerical also is applicable. For example, R1 is 2 ohms, R2 is 3 ohms, R4, R3 is 2 ohms. 2 plus 5. The resultant of the total resistors is also 5 ohms. Okay, that means whatever the resistance you are having in these three resistors, the final resistance, highest resistance, how much? 2 ohms. So the resultant which you get in series combination always greater than the greatest resistance in the series. Are you getting my point? The resultant resistance, whatever you are getting, that is always greater than the greatest resistance in the series. But coming to the parallel connection, you connect one end of all the resistors at one point, other end of all the resistors at other point, right? This parallel combination of resistors is or can be written as in actually here it is given reciprocal form only. The question can be asked in the exam and all, R equivalent form they'll ask, or equivalent form, that is 1 by R equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3 it is. R is smaller than the smallest of all. R is smaller than the smallest of all, because whatever the resultant equivalent resistance you will get in parallel, right, that is smaller than the smallest value of the resistance which you have connected in the parallel, because in parallel the resistance gets divided, so whatever you connected the resistance, that will become smaller, so it allows the larger current indirectly, means it minimizes the resistance indirectly here. Okay.
We use mostly parallel connection also.
Yeah, why we will use parallel connections at times? because of course home circuits, that is domestic circuits, parallel connections, why we prefer in that, in the sense it saves, uh, though it consumes the energy, but it saves the electrical devices from external current. Okay, so that's why
From
resistance,
short circuit.
yeah, minimum resistance is mandatory to save the instrument. Now, most important thing is that sources of EMF. What do you mean by EMF? First of all, EMF in the sense electromotive force. What is that? Electromotive force. Electromotive force is the maximum potential difference between the two electrodes of the cell, which no current is drawn from the cell. Okay, the electromotive force is the maximum potential difference between the two electrodes which will connect, no? Okay, so nothing but the current supplied by the battery. Simple, I can tell you. Because since the current is not entered through the external circuit, so there is no consumption. So there is no spending of energy at all. So therefore, since there is no spending of energy at all, we can write it as, we can say it as, the electromotive force or nothing but is a maximum potential difference which resides between the electrodes is called as source of EMF. That's why they mention the condition in the definition. The condition in the definition is that which no current is drawn from the cells. If you are not drawing the current from the cell, in the sense remains same, the potential which is there inside, that was the maximum, right? So that's why it is called as the another name with that electromotive force, EMF we call. We use this word more in electromagnetic induction. Next, the another word is the potential difference. The potential difference is difference between the potential of wire at a 2 points. 2 points in the sense that is in the external circuit. When you take the current from external circuit, the current flows through the wire. When current flowing through the wire, there some amount of resistance will act. So the supplied current as completely cannot be used for what actually using. But where it will go to overcome the resistance, right? So you can see here EMF, electromotive force, is a maximum potential difference between the two electrodes of the cell when no current is drawn from the cell. Have you got my point here? The same
Yes.
thing, the difference you can find here. The potential difference is the difference of potentials between any 2 points in a closed circuit. This is in a closed circuit at any 2 points, but this is only battery belonging. It is independent of the resistance of the circuit, means though no relation with the external circuit. Here it is completely belonging to the external circuit because we are finding the potential difference in the external circuit. If there are the extra resistances are there, it will affect this potential difference. So that's why it is proportional to resistance between the two given points where you have used, where you wanted to measure. The term EMF is used only for the source of EMF. The term EMF is used only for the source of EMF. It is measured between any 2 points of the circuit. It is measured between any 2 points of the circuit. Now, most important thing you can find here from these all the points, EMF is having the greater potential difference between any 2 points, but here the potential difference is having greater than EMF of the cell. Whatever in a external circuit you have connected EMF and the extra circuit, if you're trying to measure the potential difference, this potential difference always less than the battery potential. Means battery means who is that? EMF of the cell. Okay. So that you can understand little more here, internal resistance of a cell. For example, what will happen, if I'll find a cell of 9 volts or 1.5 volts, if I'll buy, right? If I'll find a cell of 1.5 volts or 9 volt cell, if I'll use digital meter, if I'll find the voltage, I'll not get the complete voltage. 9 volts in the sense 8.5 only will come. 1.5 in the sense 1.4 only I'll get. Where this 1 or 1.5 or 0.5 voltage has gone. This voltage has gone to consume or to overcome internal resistance of the cell. What is this internal resistance here? Means resistance possessed or offered by the electrolyte. Who is offering the resistance? Resistance offered by the electrolyte between the electrodes in the cell. Okay, it also offers the resistance. Okay, on flow of electrons. Therefore, therefore, where some amount of internal voltage will be consumed to overcome the internal resistance, right? Next, factors affecting internal resistance of a cell. What are the factors? See here. Larger the separation between the electrodes of the cell, more the length of electrolyte through which current has to flow, and consequently higher value of internal resistance. Means electrodes whatever you are using, it should be a larger, it should be a wider. Okay, so there is an exchange of ions takes place easily if it is wider, then the current flow also takes place. Parallelly, simultaneously, internal resistance develops inside. Greater the conductivity of electrolyte, whatever the electrolyte we are using inside, if it is having greater conductivity, lesser internal resistance, that means internal resistance depends on the nature of the electrolyte also. The internal resistance of cell is inversely proportional to the common area of electrodes. Dipping in the electrodes means, as I told in first point only, the length. Okay, electrodes, between the electrodes, whatever the separation is there, that as well as the electrolyte will affect clearly on internal resistance. And nature of the electrolyte affects the internal resistance, because conductivity of electrolyte is more, internal resistance is less. Internal resistance of cell inversely proportional to the common area of the electrodes dipping in the electrolyte. Means where you are dipping, that is also important. The internal resistance of a cell depends on the nature of the electrodes. Some electrodes, zinc, copper, we will use. Some other different other materials will use zinc sulfide, copper sulfide based electrodes will be preferred apart from normal zinc and normal copper. It depends. Now you can see a symbol of EMF. This is a EMF. This dotted lines and in middle small resistance are. This dotted lines is indicating completely it is a battery. Battery having internal resistance it is indicating. Okay. Remember always. This internal resistance either in some books can be written between the these two lines of battery symbol or beside. And this dotted lines kept means this total called as EMF of the cell. Okay, so the current passes from positive to negative in this manner. Now, same way, the current flows from positive to negative. So voltage V and V between the resistance of two ends. If you put a voltmeter, then you will find. Now, this V is potential difference in external circuit. This is EMF. This small v is the voltage which has consumed for internal resistance. So this V plus this V gives EMF. That is EMF equal to V plus capital V plus small v. Now capital V due to the external resistance has come. So I into R. Small r due to the internal resistance, small r. Both cases, since current in the series it is constant, so same amount of current flows. So I, if you take the common, R plus R. Further it can be described the current, total current flowing in the circuit I equal to E by capital R plus small r. This relation is called circuit equation. And this is also relation between the internal resistance and electromotive force or EMF relation. Okay, sometimes 2 marks or 3 marks questions can be asked in 12 CBSE. Otherwise, on this base, numerical can be asked. Next, internal resistance of a cell in terms of E, V, and capital R. E, V, and capital R means the relation we are going to find. From the previous case only, we have taken E equal to V plus V, and internal resistance can be written as I into R. So I made I into R as a subject, E minus V I have written. Now, what I am doing simply, I am dividing both sides with the terminal voltage, I into R and V here. So here what I did, I get cancelled, therefore current term eliminated completely. If I eliminate current term, I can take the common such a way the voltage and I have written in the denominator. Then capital I send other side. Then I made small r as a subject. R equal to EMF by voltage minus 1 into capital R. This is a relation between the internal resistance and the EMF of the cells. This we have found here relation between the internal resistance and terminal voltage as well as EMF of the cell. Next, determination of internal resistance of a cell by voltmeter method. How will you find by using voltmeter method? Simply voltmeter, instead of connecting across external circuit, have connected across the battery. And here resistance box or fixed resistance has connected with key. Then directly whatever EMF you have measured. Okay, EMF is in the open circuit how much it is current has come. When you on the switch, obviously external current will flow. How much it has consumed, we will get to know across the battery how much voltage, and in external circuit how much voltage. From that we can measure the voltage, and we can determine the internal resistance of the cell also here. Okay. Now, cells in series combination. We know what is a cell. Cell is a primary source of electrical energy. Okay, cell has always some chemicals inside. It stores that chemicals in a form of chemical energy, electrical energy in a form of chemical energy. Cells are connected in series when they are joined end to end. The same quantity of electricity must flow through the cell. Means end to end in the sense how we will connect. This is a one cell, let us say. This is another cell. We studied just now. Each cell having its own internal resistance, right? So here also internal resistance, here also internal resistance. Third cell. Now let us say one after the other, one after the I have connected. Okay, I have connected in the same manner, negative to positive, again positive to negative, like that only it has connected. Then only I can say that these are the three different cells have connected. Otherwise, it is act like a one. Now current is flowing.
Sir, cell definition is it converts chemical
Cell,
energy to
the cell is a
electrical
primary source of energy, which converts chemical energy into electrical energy.
okay.
Now, here the cells are connected in series one after the other. I have connected one external resistance with the voltmeter. Here, in the series combination, the EMF of the battery is the sum of the individual EMFs is equal to the total. Now, the current in each cell is constant. We know in series arrangement always current is constant. The total internal resistance which you have connected in series, this is also gets connected in series. So sum of the internal resistance is equal to the total resistance. R equal to R1 plus R2 plus and so on, like that we can take here also. First of all, EMFs we have connected one after the other. Depends on the number of EMFs. We have 3 EMF of the cells. So the 3 EMFs we can write 3 into E. If n number of cells are connected, n into E I will write. These all identical cells, remember. Means all are having the same potential. 3 volts, 3 volts, 3 volts. Like that only n into E can. Otherwise I have to write n uh, E1, E2 separate I have to write. The internal resistance also same amount of internal resistance n into R. This is also identical. Now the total resistance of the circuit when you are taking internal resistance as well as external resistance, both we have to take here. So therefore n into R plus capital R we are writing because it is connected in series. Now we know the EMF, we know the total resistance in the circuit. So I equal to V by R from the Ohm's law. So I can write N into capital E by N into small r plus capital R. Simple is that. I equal to V by R, no? Ohm's law. From there, I can write I equal to V in the sense total voltage N into E. In denominator, N into R plus capital R I can write. Now, in this first one, if capital R less than N into R, comma, then I equal to E by R. Why? If capital R neglected or capital R preferred, capital R is, if it is neglected, R is less than N into R, then we will forget about this and get cancelled. You are having E by R, the total current. Or other way, if internal resistances are neglected and external resistance is considered, then I equal to N into E by capital R. I equal to N into capital E by capital R I can write. Okay. So that is the current when a number of resistance neglected when the external resistance is neglected. You can see here, when internal resistance is negligible in comparison to the external resistance, then the cells are connected in series to get maximum current. When internal resistance is negligible, this one. So maximum EMF you can cover, which is connected. Now the same cells, if it is connected in parallel combination, they joined one end to the at all the cells at one point, other end of the cells to at other point as usual in resistance. So since we have connected EMF of the cells in parallel, okay, and same that of the single cell, the total battery, the EMF of the battery is the same as that of the single cell, means E1, E2, E3 equal to E simply. And the current has divided across each cell is equally. The reciprocal of total internal
normally
resistance.
they'll connect cells in a parallel series or resistance in parallel series.
Both. Resistance is attached to the cell. how the cell is connected, the same way resistance automatically gets connected since it is inside the part. So since it is inside the pod, it is connected in such a way. Now this end and this end I have connected here. All the cells are in parallel, all the resistances also in parallel. So we know in parallel the current divides across each branch, and same way internal resistance is equivalent of resistance we have to take in the form of reciprocal. That is, you can write the total EMF of the battery E and total internal resistance of the battery, because potential difference will not divide in parallel but current divides. So R by N we will write. We have written in series N into R, the total internal resistance. Here R by N we are writing. So we have studied in parallel resistance, when you connected N number of resistance which are identical in the sense, it can be written as R by N. Total resistance of the circuit can be written as R by N plus capital R. Okay. Now current I equal to N into capital E by N into capital R plus small r. Means same here also we have applied V by R, means potential by total resistance. Total potential E, since we have connected N number of cells, that is also N into E. So total resistance N into R plus small r we can write. Here also, if you neglect the capital R, then the total current is gives maximum by the cells, maximum cells connected. If R by N is neglected, then I am having only capital R, therefore I equal to E by R. So when external resistance is negligible in comparison, so to the internal resistance, then the cells are connected in parallel, get maximum current. This is that. Okay, this is all about the cells of different one